I'm not being bombarded and
All
accosted by
right,
chaos
we're
agents.
coming back into this. We're still listening to Isaac Cappy,
I found that
the Isaac Cappy biography,
in the sheriff's
and
office
I just lost
report, right, from the
a game where I shouldn't have traded queens
from the Ponderosa Fire
in the
Department.
last episode.
So I called
So
Ponderosa.
we're gonna try to learn
hey,
from
I
that
need these 2 report numbers
and play a little better in
me
that Italian game.
I finally got them, and
but I'm sticking to my opening repertoire because I want to build up
previous day, and neither of
these
them
particular
were
opening lines.
So the fire department gave the sheriff's department 2 separate files on 2 separate people, not even the same person, 2 separate calls, and said these are for the thing in question here. I thought that's weird. So I went back to the fire department and said these aren't the right.
So I went 2 and 2 last, 2 wins, 2 losses in the last episode.
Oh, okay. So Isaac Cappy's report finally. This has been like 5 weeks now, and everything's redacted. There's nothing in it. Nothing about blood pressure. Nothing. Just we showed up. We identified him later as Isaac Cappy. We gave treatment. It was pretty just redacted and blah. I said, I need more information. Well, they said, well, that's all that you get unless you're family. I'm like, all right. So I said, why did you
give the other
2 numbers that aren't even Isaac Cappy's reports to the sheriff's department? They said we gave the sheriff's
more
office the right
guys.
It's not our fault if they write it down wrong.
On D5.
So I go back to the sheriff's department. I say,
Knight C3.
Why?
Pawn captures E4.
You guys got the wrong numbers written down. They said, well,
Knight
we
F6.
just write down what they give us.
Queen E2.
So they're playing the he said, she said. I called the medical examiner's office.
E4.
I said, you are aware of Isaac's status,
Queen
what he's involved in?
E4.
Yeah, I said, did you call anyone back at home? You're doing an investigation into the man's death. Did you investigate it? Well, insofar as, but, it was an unaliving, according to the, self-unaliving. And, that's what we looked for, and that's what we found. I said, did you investigate it, though? Like, why is his belt on inside out? His
Queen
belt
A5.
buckle? His
Queen
belt is like
A5.
they put the belt on and turn the whole thing all the way around inside out. Why is that? No one thought that was weird, apparently. Why, when they searched his body for effects, they left a pack of cigarettes in there, Things just didn't add up. And they bifurcated the entire investigation so that no one's accountable. And just like with the Charlie Kirk stuff, just like, and it's impossible to track down. Then I actually said, I'm going to call and interview the officer here who wrote the report. So I call
Bishop
up and I
F5.
ask for the officer who wrote the report.
Right.
And they go, who is that? And I said, it's Officer, I believe it's Montoya. And they said, sir, we don't have an Officer Montoya here. I said, you do. They said, no, we don't. I said, no, you do, because I'm looking
Queen
at a
F4.
report number, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, okay, we've never had a Montoya. I said, well, they said, well, what's his badge number? And I said, it's 70, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, sir, we don't even
E6.
have 7,000 series badge numbers yet. The first sheriff of Arizona was 1, and then 2. And if you join as a deputy, you get the next number. We're not even up in the 7,000 series yet. I said, I am looking at a report with his name and badge number and superior in the badge number. And they go, well, then what's his superior? And I say, oh, it's
Knight
this
D4.
guy. And they say, oh, yeah, we have him. I said, give me his number. They patch me through. I leave a message. I get a call on like Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Off-duty hours for a
G6.
detective. And he's like, this is Detective so what can I do for you? And I said, yeah, I'm looking into this case here. He goes, what's the name? And who are you? I said, I'm just a citizen journalist, and I'm looking for blah, blah. And I said, Isaac Cappy. He's like, I barely remember this one.
Castle's Kingside.
You don't remember the Isaac Cappy
No
case?
idea what we're getting into
the most
here.
phone calls you've ever had at the Coconino County Sheriff's Office in your life? The thing that's still going on 6 years later. You don't remember this? And I said, how come your dispatcher on 2 separate occasions is telling me
Bishop
that you don't have
C5.
Officer Montoya? Well, that's ridiculous. I've been working with Montoya. He's a good old boy. He's retired now, though, and he's fishing right now, blah, blah, and he's giving this good old boy story. And I'm like, uh-huh. So he said, that dispatcher was, they were just wrong or new. I said, sir, it was 2 dispatchers a week apart. They both told me no Montoya has ever worked here. He goes, well, I know Montoya, and I'm telling you that he's working. What do you think is going on here? Some kind of conspiracy? I'm like, yeah, I do. I don't know what's going on, but it ain't the truth, man. And he kind of said he had to go and hung up.
It would be nice if we could sack
you got
on that
mismatching
square.
numbers on the reports. You got sheriffs that work there that don't work there. You got badge
But
numbers.
we could also play back to here. Let's just do
Knight
The whole
this.
D3.
thing is a cover-up of something,
Queen
and
B6.
I don't think we know what it is yet. Either Isaac was extricated, or he's gone and it was a hit. One or the other.
On D4.
And either's possible. Neither would surprise me.
Pushing this guy
He was too far
around.
ahead of his time, and he was a huge liability to them. Elisa, a couple more questions have come in for yourself. What one person was asking, how did you originally meet Isaac?
Bishop E7.
Well, I joined his Telegram room and participated in the chat there, and then on the 8th, in the Telegram room, he put a little note and said, "Hey, could somebody come and visit me? Because I'm lonely and I need some company." And so I messaged him about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock, and asked if he had any takers on the visit, and he said no, and he seemed pretty down about it. And so I went
Bishop
way out of
E3.
my comfort zone, my own personal comfort zone. I am the qualified capital introvert, and going, meeting people, especially people from the internet. But I'd been in the chat room, I'd seen him there, I'd spoken to him a few times.
Queen
in
D8.
there. I thought,
Queen
he sounds
D8,
really
good.
down and something feels like he needs attention. So I told him I'd stop at the grocery when I was done with
Pawn
work,
C3.
and
Weak.
picked up
Castles
some dinner
kingside.
and took it out and cooked dinner for him. So that was Wednesday night before everything happened, and I visited with him for a couple of hours. And then we made plans to get together again on Saturday, and we had a long visit on Saturday. And I apologize for not going into a whole lot of details on this. Still to this day, it's very difficult for me to talk about, and it kind of wrecks me for a couple of days. So
Rook A D1.
what's your next question?
Okay, so the next question then is from Marcus.
Knight D7.
What was the last thing he was working on? Because that might be a key.
Isaac was very private with me about things that he was doing. One thing I did interview him about specifically was making sure that he was not suicidal. And because I did suicide intervention, and I knew the questions to ask when a person was in trouble, when a person might need an intervention, and I wanted to be sure that
Knight D2.
what we were seeing and what we were kind of sensing in the group
Knight
about his
F6.
downness and fear, I wanted to be really clear. And so I interviewed him a little bit about it. We talked about it. I asked him all the questions, and the questions and the answers that he gave me were that he was a man that wanted to be alive, that he wanted a wife and family, wanted kids, but he was terrified about what was coming for him, and he knew it was going to be bad. And he said it might be easier if I do
all
it
kinds of
myself,
problems
but
here.
I don't want to do that. I want to live. So, yep. I don't know. He did tell me as we were walking on Saturday up and down the hall in his
This is
house,
just awful.
and he had mentioned this before, that something had happened in the blink of an eye, and that he had a realization in
Rook
the blink of an
FE1.
eye that people around him, he didn't say this much in his broadcast, but he did say to me that in the blink of an eye, he realized that the people around him were not who he thought they were, and those were the people that had
Bishop
tricked
D6.
him, and he felt foolish and horrified and embarrassed, and because he didn't see it until something just clicked over, and he went, in the blink of an eye, it just all blew up, and I knew that
Queen H4.
these people were not who they said.
Question
I liked
from
it.
Bram. Okay, go for it.
I just wanted to add that an individual representing a small group of individuals who first approached Isaac Cappy
Bishop E7.
when he came out within a couple days is also the same individual who approached me within about a week of investigating Isaac Cappy and infiltrated my group and had my confidence for 5 months until I pushed that individual away. It is the same individual that has been stalking and harassing a number of people, myself and Alicia included, for the last 6 years. It's the same individual that a number of people have gone to the FBI and filed official reports over last February. A decision for recommendation of prosecution has
Queen
been
F4.
has been given for this individual. This person is involved with a lot of online shenanigans, a lot of dark behavior.
Knight
That's
D5.
adequate.
That adequate?
That's
Is that
adequate.
still understating it?
Queen
It's still
F3.
understating the amount of damage and terror of this individual. Anyway,
Well, I want to add, because it kind of fits in with the question that was hanging on the screen there. Was I not afraid that somebody would come to my house if Isaac came to my house?
God, tell that story if you want.
So on Saturday when I was there, he was checking windows.
Bishop
He was
D6.
very upset and scared.
Okay.
And I don't know. I thought maybe, if we didn't take my car and his car sat in the driveway,
Knight
it'd be
E4.
less likely, there would be a chance that he could come to my place and be secure at least for a little while. I didn't think I was in that kind of danger, because I wasn't sure what kind of danger he was in, just that he was very scared. So after he was gone, I was on the Wednesday after he was gone, I was planning to meet
Bishop captures
one of
E4.
the individuals from the Famalam
Queen
chat
captures E4.
for some tea and hugs, because we were all just so shaken. And we were looking for a place on the map between us where we could meet in the middle. And so he sent me
Queen
a pin drop
C7.
of
Queen C7.
information about where to meet him. And when I opened the pin drop, I opened it up to an image of a
Pawn
long-range
H3.
rifle.
We're dying here.
Well, that's weird. Maybe I opened it wrong, because technology. So I opened it again, and it was there again. The third time I opened it, the image was gone. We changed our location and met somewhere else. The following day, on Tom Hanks' handkerchief
Rook ACA.
Instagram, there was
Bishop
a new
D3.
post of a handkerchief named with the first name of my Telegram handle, and an image of a
Knight F6.
motorhome and some desert and cactus.
Queen
And
H4.
Corey will explain why that's relevant. I didn't even think about that being relevant. I was just so freaked out that my name was on it. And then on Friday, on Wednesday also, before I went to see my friend for tea, my messages with Isaac had been archived. I thought they were gone. I didn't know how that happened. I didn't even know that you could archive things on Telegram. And my friend said, hey, check your archive and see if it accidentally went there. And he told me how to get to the archive, and it was there. But on Friday morning, when I couldn't find it again in my thread, and it wasn't in my archive, and it wasn't anywhere, my conversation with him was completely wiped. My home address was in there, my personal phone number, my real first and last name, because I was trying to build confidence in sharing things with Isaac, so he would just not think that I was somebody from the internet, And so I gave him my real name, I gave him my home address, I gave him this information, and all of
Bishop
that was
E7.
gone.
Bishop E7.
So I'm having kind of a panicked morning, and I get a phone call.
Bishop
What else we got here, right?
And there's a man's voice on there, a deep, gravelly voice, and says, hey, are you Alicia? And I said, yes. And he goes, are you Alicia who does all these things? And I said, yes. And he said, are these your children? And he named my children, and then he named my ex-husband, and then he named the business of my ex-husband, and then all of this. And he says, by the way,
This looks pretty
I would
good.
like to have a meeting with you this morning.
Okay,
and I'm
H6.
on
So
my
that
way
is
there."
a mistake.
And I said, absolutely not. I am
I
not
think-
available for a meeting. And I hung up the phone.
Let's go ahead and
I
do this.
Bishop
called
captures
AT&T
H6.
to change my number immediately so I could create some distance with this person.
Pawn captures
In the
h6.
meantime, I sent the phone number
Queen
to
captures
a couple other
h6.
people, and I no longer have the number.
We
But a few
we
people
have
looked
this.
the number up for me.
We
and
also have
the
this.
number actually was associated
this.
with 8 different post boxes in Belmont, Arizona.
Rook fd8.
And so yes, I was scared.
Rook e3.
And so I have AT&T on the phone with me, and I said I need to change my number, and I need to know if I can do it while we're on the phone
Bishop
together. And he
f8.
said, sure, we can do that. So I was in the process of doing that, and my phone
Queen g5 check.
fried. It completely burned
Bishop
up.
g7.
It was a brand new phone. It had a full charge. I could not plug my phone in and get
Rook g3.
any action on my phone. I had to go to the leasing office in my complex, call my friend and have her come and be with me. And we called the police.
Knight
And
h5.
then I just lost my
Queen captures h5.
mind. The
Rook
police
d5.
came and I said, listen, my friend Isaac died.
Queen
I think he was
g4.
killed. I've had crazy things happening to me all week. And I
Pawn
think
f5.
someone's going to come. And I think if they come, they're going to kill me. And the police department's response
Queen
to me
e2.
was, I'm sorry, ma'am, but until you've had
Rook e8.
contact with anybody, we can't do anything to help you. You probably should call the FBI. So
Rook
I
f3.
called the FBI. And when I
Rook
said Isaac's
d7.
name, they bumped me up a level. When I said
Bishop
Isaac's name
captures
again, they bumped
f5.
me up, and they went pushing me up 3 different categories
Rook
to talk to
d7.
somebody. The person asked me all kinds of
Bishop
questions, and
d3.
of course by now I'm absolutely hysterical. I'm crying, I'm
e5.
shaking. Everything about
Queen
this
e4.
is horrifying because I'm still thinking this man, and I'm thinking now about the long-range rifle images, and I'm thinking I could be shot from my living room window and no one would even see where
Bishop
it came
h6.
from. I got underneath my sofa and hid underneath my sofa in the back
Queen
corner
g6 check.
of my living room while I was on the phone
Bishop
with the
g7.
FBI.
Queen
About-
h7 checkmate.
Nice.
2 years ago,
Let's check
my
that one
friend
out.
and I were talking about this incident, and she told me, do you remember that you wrote on your body, if anything happens to me? Ask Tom Hanks.
Pawn d5.
Ask Jeffrey
Knight
Epstein.
c3.
And it was. And
Knight
she said, and
captures
you remember
e4.
that you wrote it on your mirrors?
Queen e2.
And in
Queen
it all,
captures
I
e4.
started remembering, and I had
Queen
it on my
a5.
mirrors, and I had it
Bishop
on
c4.
papers in my
Bishop
purse and
f5.
in my car, and
Queen f4.
sometimes I'd be so
Pawn
scared
Not a
that
good
I
move
couldn't
there.
even
Knight d4.
walk
Better
to my
is just
car without
castle
calling
or
somebody to come
c3
and walk
or
from my apartment
a3.
to my car. Yes,
Castle.
I was scared that someone
Knight
was
d4.
going to kill me. So,
Bishop g6.
all of
Castles
this talking about
kingside.
this today and not having
Bishop
it resolved
c5.
and not having persons in jail who belong there.
Bishop
All
takes
of this.
e6. Yes, yeah, I knew
It
there
has
was something
not
there.
gone away or lessened for me. It is an absolute terror.
Bishop
And the voice
captures
that
e6.
called you that morning is
What about this?
very similar, if not identical,
Bishop
to the
captures
person who's been
d4.
stalking and harassing us for the past 5 going on 6 years now.
Yeah, we
Queen
got
captures
this.
d4.
For those of you interested, I can tell people are kind of angry. I'm not saying that
Pawn
name out,
captures
but the
e6.
person is highly
Queen
litigious.
captures
Not the one we
g7.
were discussing off air either.
Rook f8.
There's
we're
another
down.
person. He is, in my opinion, severely mentally ill.
little bit.
And he has been stalking people. He's
All right,
a
that's
convicted
Pawn
interesting.
stalker,
captures e6.
actually,
Bishop captures
with ties
d4.
to
Castles
General
kingside.
Flynn, with ties to
Bishop c5.
But actually, this move's
some
just
names
as
he's
good,
been
really.
identified
Seems.
in court
Queen
under
b6.
depositions that he
Knight takes
was
c5
involved in
is
3-letter
strongest.
agencies trying to rally
Pawn
Kurds back
d4.
in 2000 time,
Bishop
so,
e7.
yeah, he's not a harmless person. And
Bishop
this is very
e3.
real. People, I see some
Not
people
that
are
great,
detractors in the
but got him to make a
D8
bad
chat
move
here
or not a good
trying
move.
to,
Pawn
troll or
c3.
whatnot.
Knight
This is real.
c5
This
is
for
right
grifting.
up
This
in
isn't for
there.
making money. We don't make money on this. This isn't like it's not
Castles
a revenue
kingside.
stream. We have jobs. We have a life. This is just something that
Rook
happened.
ad1.
This is an investigation I chose to get into.
Knight
And,
d7.
I can't let it go. No one else
Knight
is doing it,
d2.
Sean. No one else is trying to find what happened to
Knight
Isaac.
not that
Everyone just let
great.
it go. I mean,
Rook
I see
fe1.
things. It was Tom Hanks. Okay, you can say it was Hanks. You can say it was whoever,
Bishop
but
d6.
that's not an answer. That's not an explanation.
Queen
That's not what
h4.
happened.
Bishop
But
e7.
I feel it after January
Queen
30th
f4.
of this year, with
What would be
all the
better
files
here?
coming
Bishop
out,
E7.
now's the time
Knight
to
F3?
dive back into the
All
game.
right.
Now's the time, especially with our FBI
Queen
case against
F4.
this person who may be
Knight D5.
Well, I will tell you this.
That's
For
what I
those
was
who want
hoping
to
for.
know, you
More
can
like
reach out to
this,
me
but
privately.
it's not that great
Bishop
anyway.
D6.
You can go
Knight
find.
E4.
There were 3 individuals that came
Bishop
out on the
captures
14th of
E4.
May.
That's good.
Queen captures
minutes
E4.
after the
Queen
world found out that
C7.
Isaac had crossed over.
Pawn H3.
And they said, if you
Rook
want to know what
AC8.
happened to Isaac Cappy, you need to look at
Bishop
and they
D3.
dropped a name. 3 people did
Is
that.
there a better move
It's
here?
all over social media if you know where to
Well,
look.
Bishop
It was all the
D3 is
same
looking pretty
It's
Bishop
good.
all the
D3.
same name. It's the same name.
Knight
And it's the same
F6.
name associated with
Queen
the
H4.
institutionalization and or the potential death of
Bishop G5.
several other people.
So we're
Other people
sitting
have
pretty
been
right
committed,
here.
have
Pawn
turned
H6.
themselves in.
Yeah, bishop
to,
takes H6.
capture
Aha!
health
H6.
authorities,
Pawn
have been
captures
And that
destroyed
ain't
and
good.
shot
Take
due to
here.
direct
Captures
involvement with this
H6.
person. It's
What
my
else
opinion that
could
this
he go
person
with?
has more
Queen
to do
captures
What
H6.
does he
with
got
the,
here? Rook
with the events
FD8.
surrounding the death
Yeah,
of Isaac Cappy
that's what he played.
than
Rook FD8.
he would like the world to know about.
Rook E3.
I'll
Rook
leave it at
E3.
that.
Beautiful.
All right, let me just say a few
Bishop
things.
F8.
So, Alicia, you know, we
Queen
Oh, I
G5.
could have
Yeah,
taken
you're
that.
reliving this.
Bishop
and we
G7.
I
I
could have
appreciate
taken the knight.
you go in there
Rook
and sharing
G3.
this with everybody.
God.
And
Knight
Glory, yeah,
H5.
you know, absolutely no need
Good.
to respond
Queen
to
captures
trolls.
H5.
It's
Rook
totally
D5.
good judgment not to name certain people
Queen
because
G4.
all hell can
Pawn
break
F5.
loose in various ways, and we don't want
Queen
to put
E2.
anyone at risk.
Rook
So that's
E8.
always there on the side of caution in situations like that.
Rook F3.
And we have had
Rook
tons
D7.
of questions come in.
Bishop captures
Someone's asking
F5.
about the story of the car.
So we could
Rook
have
E7.
prosecuted the
Yeah,
attack
so-
Bishop
quite a bit
D3.
The
better
gentleman
here.
who ran over Isaac, his name was Forrest Scott
Pawn
That ain't good.
Proctor. Forrest
Queen
Scott
E4.
Proctor.
And it's
And I got
all
his
over.
name, and
Bishop
I got put in touch with
H6.
him from
Queen G6
the
check.
lady Randy was her name. She
Bishop
was the
G7.
woman who worked at the pilot station.
Queen H7
I got a hold of
checkmate.
him. He called me.
Bishop
the first
G7.
conversation I did not record
Bishop
because I was in
H6.
my Jeep
Where's my mouse?
and I was
There
driving
it
to the
is.
bank that day. I remember right where I was. I pulled over. I started talking, and I
Queen
asked him, I said, "Hey,
E4.
what happened? Like, tell me the story, man. What
Bishop
happened here?"
H6.
And he said, "I
Queen
was going down the
G6
road.
check.
I'm going to tell you what he
And
told
the best
me.
he's got.
Okay, this is what he told me, not
What about this?
whether I believe it or not,
Rook
whether it makes
G7.
sense or not. I'm going to tell you
Ah,
exactly
that's-
what he told me." Okay. And he told me
Checkmate.
the
Queen
same
captures
exact
E8
thing on a
checkmate.
second interview.
Rook G7.
On a couple, maybe
Queen
about a month
G6
later or
check.
so. Maybe it was a little longer
King
than that.
H8.
When I called him again, and I
Queen
recorded, and
captures
that
H6
recorded conversation
check.
is in the mind map. But the first time I
King
spoke to
G8.
him, he told me the same thing as the second. It was this: I was going down the
Bishop
road.
C4
I was
check.
late. He lived in Ash Fork, and he was driving to Flagstaff
E6.
for work in the morning. And
Rook
he said,
G3 check.
I was driving,
King
and I didn't
F7.
see anybody
Queen
in the road,
G7
and I
checkmate.
saw what looked like
All right. That was
a
all right.
box, a cardboard box
So,
in the road. And I saw
get
a
some
bunch of people
information
up on the
there
top
about how to play
on the bridge.
chess.
They were all waving.
And that's what's good about this
And
for
I
people
said,
who
"Okay,
are
then what?" He
not
said, "Well,
absolute
I
experts and
thought it was
stuff.
a
It's
box
kind of
of
better
kid-
to watch amateur
And I said,
games like
I'm
this
sorry, what?
to
He said, "I
see
thought it was a
what's
box of
kind of
kittens."
believable
I
moves
said, "Why would it
at
be a box
this
of
level.
kittens?"
Because
He said,
Grandmaster moves
I thought it was like
are
a
somewhat
protest up on top.
incomprehensible at times. Like,
I said, "You
it's
thought it was a
just too
protest?" He goes,
deep.
"Yeah, I thought it was a
It really
protest."
is.
And I thought it was like a PETA
It's better to
protest or something.
learn,
I'm like, why would you think it's a PETA? Because I don't know, man. That's just what I thought. Okay.
you know,
You asked me what I'm
from
telling you.
moves
Okay,
that
all
you
right,
can
sorry, go on.
understand a little
And he said-
better that aren't so
and
grandiose.
By the time I saw the box,
So hopefully,
I was
by
going
going over
too
these
fast,
games with
and I
me,
couldn't swerve,
your
so I decided just to run
Pawn
over.
captures D5.
your chess
And I
skill
ran
will
over it,
grow
and then
as
I realized
well.
when I hit
F6.
it, there was something inside of it.
Pawn
It was
D4.
big, and I pulled over. And if you go and look
Knight
at the
captures
photographs
D5.
in the mind map,
Pawn
you'll see
C4.
the photo sections of where
Knight
the
F6.
officer walks down to the red
Knight
truck, and it's
C3.
like almost, it's a good quarter-mile away almost. And anyway,
Pawn
he said,
C6.
so he said, so I ran over the cardboard.
Bishop F4.
And then I got out and turned out, started walking back. When I was walking back,
Bishop
the woman
G4.
was pulling the
Queen D2.
cardboard over the body. I said, what? He goes,
Pawn
the woman
E6.
was pulling the cardboard
Pawn
over the
F3.
body. I said, the cardboard. He goes, yeah, the cardboard. I ran over to the cardboard box. I said, okay. And he was getting mad at me. And you can hear it. He hangs up on me the second time
Bishop
I spoke to
F5.
him. And I said, okay, so then what? He goes, she was pulling the cardboard back over the body. I said,
Castles
okay.
queenside.
And he goes,
I
listen,
don't-
listen, man.
I don't usually do this, but
had
this
enough.
seems pretty
It was
good.
a traumatic event. I can't take anymore. Don't
Bishop
call me
B4.
again. Click, and he hangs up. So he said he ran over a
Bishop D3.
cardboard box. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
this hangs
Not in of
the
itself.
pawn.
Could his mind have placed the cardboard box in there to protect, his psyche from running over somebody? Quite possibly. That's probably, I mean, I couldn't do that, but I live in reality. I asked Robert, was there cardboard there? Because Robert was there and saw him run him over, right? He said, Corey, there was no cardboard. I said, okay. But he saw the woman, and the woman was the
Queen
one who worked in
captures
the fire
D4.
department, and she was right
Bishop
there
captures
where
F5.
This is
Robert
terrible.
said she was. So everything else matches up except for the cardboard. And I don't know what to make of it.
Claire, you have a lot of questions because you're saying the woman. Will you clarify that that's Aaron Hudman?
Aaron Hudman, who was one of the witnesses. Aaron
Well, I
Hudman,
goofed up,
she was the
so
one.
let's
If
see
you
if
go
I
to
can
eyewitness
recover.
testimonies, you can listen to the phone call when I spoke to him. But yeah, Aaron Hudman is the one, and she is the off-duty purchaser for the fire department, the responding fire department. He said, and that's the only woman that was down there, right? She was the only
Bishop
one. So
captures C3.
Forrest Scott Proctor, witness 6, said she was pulling it back over.
Huh.
But when you go to Forrest Scott Proctor's report, if you click on his name there, he just wrote like 2 sentences. You know why? Probably because she probably told him to write down the least amount of information necessary too, because he probably didn't want to be involved in that. Because that's what she told Robert. He said, where were you just prior to the accident? Heading east on I-40 in Belmont. 2 cars
Queen captures D4.
veered to the side.
Bishop
I hit
captures
something
D4.
in the road, pulled over, walked
Pawn
back,
captures
and
F5.
seen it was a person. Heard something hit my undercarriage, so I pulled over. That's what he wrote. However, he tells me a story about running over a cardboard box, and he thought it was kittens and a PETA thing, and
Bishop D6.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But that's I called it Cardboard Gate, in the mind map for what it's worth. And I'm not trying to sell a narrative. I'm not trying to convince you it's true.
Knight B D7.
I'm telling you, this is what I found out during the process of the investigation.
We've got a question here with that.
Knight H3.
Have you heard of Emily Eustace? Friends, associates of director Justin Silverman, friends of Macaulay Culkin, Isaac mentioned.
Castle's Queenside.
No,
Culkin.
never heard that name.
I got a screen clip of that for you for later.
Okay.
And no, the body on the ground looked like a live person to me. It looked like Isaac. The shape of the thumbnails were right.
Shark Belly identified moles on his skin that she knew because she had spent time with Isaac as
It
well.
was Isaac.
Should we tell the story of the film?
Which film?
The person from California that came out and wanted to do that film. I mean,
Yeah.
so another thing that transpired since all this, Sean, we were approached to make a movie about Isaac Cappy, and I was very hesitant,
Rook HD1.
because when you're doing this, the detractors come out and call you, you're a grifter, you're just here to make the money, you're just exploiting
C5.
Isaac, and blah, 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 blah. And that's just not the case, right? But we'd had someone who approached us for a movie. And I said, all right, I'll listen to what you got. And me and Alicia talked. If we did a movie, it was going to be a serious movie. It was going to be one
It's
that
not going to be a
Rook
joke. It was
4D2.
going to be documentary style, factual, respectful, nothing made up. If we didn't
Pawn
know the answer, it
H6.
wasn't going to be.
we were going to leave it and say we didn't know it, right? It wasn't going to be to weave a narrative. So we're working with this person, and she brings her associate out, and we're going through. She's like, okay, we can do this and we can do that, and we can make it kind of a funny, lighthearted thing. And I'm like, I don't know if we like that, And so we're talking about what we're going to do potentially. She goes back to California. She comes out and she says, well, I got the first episode done, and she gives me a script. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. This person was supposed to be, a writer.
Knight
for
F4.
Hollywood. She then sends us a purchase option
Rook
agreement.
HE8.
And within a purchase option agreement, are you familiar with those?
Explain what that is, please.
So let's say a producer comes to me and Alicia and says, we want to
Knight
purchase your
D3.
story for a project we're working on. We're going to purchase it for 2 years, and that'll give us time to find a director, find the actors, get the money together, put the whole thing together. So in that 2 years, you can't sign contracts with anyone else and talk about this or exploit it yourself.
Knight B6.
So within that, we took the
Okay.
contract to a contract attorney here in Phoenix, And he said, you know, he called us back. Said, you know, usually there's about 24 things you can put into a purchase agreement.
Yikes.
Usually you'll put 3 or 4 or 5. Maybe it's a complicated project. You might put 6 or 7 or 10.
That sucks.
He said all 24 are in here. Like this would remove your rights to start a movie, tell the story,
Bishop
continue what you're
captures
doing.
C5.
This would lock up Isaac
Knight
Cappy's story
captures
from you,
C4.
prevent you from talking about it for the next 5 years. How much were they going to? I said she wanted to pay us $15,000. He
C2.
goes, well, if you want $15,000, you don't want to talk about this for 5 years. You can do that, but if you
Knight
do,
E3.
then they're going to sue you. And he says it looks like
Bishop
he said, this
captures
is
E3
how
check.
they get people
Well, luckily
shut
we're just
up.
better.
without threatening you. They'll buy the
Yay.
story from you and then sue you. Lawfare. So when we figured out that was happening, we realized.
So he got a
that,
little
oh,
too
wait,
excited there.
It looks like we're trying to be shut up.
Luckily
and then we
for
find
me.
out the person worked for Seth Green.
Pawn captures D5.
Wow.
So make of that what you
Pawn
will.
D4. Pawn
You got a
C4.
question here. Did the homeless
Knight
guy
C3.
ever show up?
Pawn
No.
C6.
In fact, because
Bishop F4.
Knight
I'm from
G2,
Arizona
F3,
and
Queen
I'm a
G2.
guide, and I
So
travel
Queen
that
D2 is
island
playable.
all the way from Kingman to
Pawn E6.
F3,
Winslow.
H3, blah, blah, blah.
I put the word out.
F3 is
email
good.
Anybody at truck
Bishop
stops.
F5.
Bishop
I knew a
F5.
lot of the people back then.
In
when I
here,
was
definitely not what I
touring
played.
hard. You know, I asked the
Um,
guys and girls at the cashiers, look for this guy
G4,
for me, and I
Knight
put
GE2.
pictures. No one ever
So
popped up.
either
looked
that
looked
or
like
that
that.
or that
Just disappeared.
would be viable here.
I have half a mind to believe that whoever that homeless guy was working for the
G4
feds
seems real good.
and was basically just coming from across the street,
So we could have got
from
something
military
like
base.
this.
dressed up like a bum, went out there.
Yeah,
worked
this
the
is
day,
good
went
against
back to the
this.
base. That's
Against
who I think it
the
was.
this
That's what makes
opening,
sense
the
to me.
Scandinavian,
Because Belmont, Arizona, is one of the
where
coldest
it's
places in
E4
Arizona.
D5 right at
The
the
wind
beginning.
comes right off that mountain there,
Um,
and off Humphreys Peak from
On
12,600
H6.
feet.
no, Knight
And
GE2.
you can go
Knight
a couple miles
GE2.
in either direction, like 20, 30 miles. It gets
What
a
do you
lot
got?
warmer.
B5, Knight
And he was there during that. It
D7,
was a
Knight
very, very
A6,
cold
stuff
winter
like that.
2019. And
So
it
he's
was one
got
of the
like
coldest places in
this,
the state
like
from
that,
February to May. So that a
or
homeless
like
person
that.
would be in that location at that year at that time is kind of crazy.
B5,
You would head
C5.
down to Kingman, or you'd go down I-17 back to Phoenix.
Seems
or
like good to
Camp Verde
do a
at least,
king
you know,
side.
on
You know,
B5.
this is a
Belmont.
queen side attack because it
Sounds
looks like
one
I'm
of the cast of
castling queen
characters from
side.
the Kennedy assassination.
Pawn C5.
So Ron is asking, is it possible some people were pushing Isaac to do something to himself?
Yes,
Knight A6.
Yes.
the person I mentioned earlier.
Got you.
And many people believe that.
Pawn A3.
Okay. Did you see the body cam from the state police?
Yes, they're in the mind map. You can go under scene photos and recordings, left-hand
On
side under
B4.
evidence. They're all there.
A link for mind map and website is in the live chat right now and in the description
Knight
box.
E4.
Did Isaac come up in the Epstein files?
Huh.
No.
Pawn captures E4.
Okay.
Bishop captures
How did he
E4.
get to the bridge? Do we know?
So he gives up a pawn, but
How
apparently
did he bridge
that's
that
good
morning?
Yep.
for
According to the
development
night
and all that.
manager, Isaac was last
How
seen
we
at
looking on
7:11,
time?
walking from the front door of
33.
the Days Inn, south
Okay,
and west.
so that's enough
across
for
the
that.
parking lot
We learned a
towards the
little
bridge.
something
He
there.
walked
Let's
over
do
there.
another game.
According to
Boom.
the night manager.
Did Isaac say he was
We get
hearing
3 or 4
voices?
games an episode.
Oh yeah. Alicia can attest to that.
Yeah.
Pawn E4.
Yeah, he did. He told me on
Pawn
Wednesday
E5.
that he was
Knight
being
F3.
bombarded with
Knight C6.
loud music,
Bishop C4.
and talking and conversation that was happening in his head.
Knight F6.
He also told me
Pawn D3.
that
Bishop C5.
it was
Pawn
nonstop
C3.
and it was very loud.
Pawn D6.
And
Well, you had the
Pawn
situation.
H3.
I don't know if you want to get into that or not, but you had the situation.
well, you know, and he
Castles
also told me
kingside.
that he was
Bishop B3.
doing a lot of time meditating, and I didn't really understand how much time meditating he was doing till Saturday.
Can I play it?
I was there a
Pawn
long
D5.
time on Saturday, so we sat down on the couch and he had taken his sandals off, and trying to calm him down, I took his feet to rub his feet because retired massage therapists, you do those things. And so I took his feet and the tops of his feet in the little knuckles, like where your toe and your foot meet, were all scabbed up from kneeling down on his carpet and getting up and kneeling down on his carpet and praying. No, I don't know if he was I don't know if he was drugged, but I know he wasn't on drugs. I was in his house. I was in his room. There was no drug paraphernalia. There was no weed. There were no signs of other drugs. The house was clean. And his room was impeccable. Just
Well, we
it
got
was
him thinking.
beautiful. You know, people came on later.
Really,
and
I
said
think the only good
"Where's
move
his
is to
drug
take.
house?" Michelle said his room was a mess and he made a disaster of the house.
On
There you
captures
go.
Not true.
D5.
Everything was in order.
Knight captures
He was-
D5.
He was clean in his body. He was clean in his living space. Everything about this. He was not a meth addict. He wasn't on cocaine. He wasn't on any of those
I
kinds
mean,
of
D5
drugs that would
isn't
amp
really
you up.
that great a
And
move.
the
It's
top
just,
screen.
I guess if you can
showed
get away with
Castles
it,
king
you
side.
might as well.
Here's the list of things we can't say on air.
It's all right. It's just
Sorry,
like a
Sean.
fresh-
Sorry.
It's just a case of not saying those words too many times because there's a
Okay.
threshold. And,
So
We
sorry.
usually over on Rumble, so we don't have to watch our tongues over there, you know.
Yeah, so he wasn't drugged and he wasn't on drugs.
Not only that, his toxicology came back clean, with the exception of a little bit of THC, and that was it. And by the way, his toxicology report is in the mind map. You can read it under documents.
Let's do
Yeah.
this.
Bishop E6.
He was a juicer.
We'll do that.
And he liked fresh food.
He was a
Rookie one.
I
juicer.
forget where we were going with all
Redefine
this.
juicer.
Queen F6.
Oh, sorry. Fresh fruit squeezes in the blender with fruits and vegetables.
The juicer. I got juicers.
So there you go.
Not steroids.
Not steroids.
Yeah.
And you know,
He was
and
a
I will say
juicer.
this, when I got there on Wednesday, I was surprised. You
If he
know, I
plays
know the
Queen
camera
E2,
adds weight to us,
We'll play
right?
juicer
But
to
I
D6.
didn't even think about that. And when he opened the door to greet me, he was almost skeletal. The bones in his face were very sharp, and his body was just a little tiny frail man. He was so
This
little.
doesn't
I'm
look so
little,
good.
And I could wrap my arms all the way around him and come back to myself. He was so tiny. He was so tiny. His weight on the report was 142
Knight
Okay,
BD2.
cool. He's going for here.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So he, you know, stress was getting him.
you're getting asked about. Do you know whether about his trip to Australia or him meeting?
Yes, like Jamba Juice.
Jamba?
Yeah.
How can
Yeah,
I
I do.
even deal
In
with
fact,
that?
I was
Yeah,
just
no
working
good
on this
answer to
last
that.
week.
Let's just get this guy
Bishop
back
D6.
here.
So, I guess for the letter of the alphabet we can't say, can we say
We're
17?
gonna lose a juicer to a knight to a pony. We're gonna have to
Ooh,
trade our
17 and
juicer for
on.
this pony.
Knight E4.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah,
Is that okay? Cool.
yeah.
All right. So, Isaac
Queen
was
G6.
very,
But we're setting up
very,
some good stuff here.
very involved with 17 and on. The person I mentioned earlier, actually, allegedly, from people who told me, was always calling him, going on about that. Other people
This is just
involved
bloody
with Isaac
awful.
was telling him, hey, the 17 and on thing isn't real, man. It's a psyop. It's a psyop. Like, don't buy into it. Get off of it. We started it, you know, and I believe I do know who started that. He's been out. He's done interviews after interview. I don't know why people don't know this. People are still wondering who the 17 guy is, and I think the world knows who it is now. And if you pay attention and want to get involved in that circle, you'll understand who it is too. It's not a great mystery anymore. But that person was also known to Isaac, and Isaac knew that person. So Isaac was around the key people that were pivotal with the 17 and on situation. Okay. During that time, Fiona Barnett was talking to Isaac over here. He had a character by the name of El High Priest, who was interviewing with people known to Isaac as well in those circles. Isaac needed to get over to Australia. He wanted to go to Australia and do something.
The only good thing is
No
we're
one knew where
doing
he got
real
the
good
money.
on time.
I know where he got the money. He sold a Bitcoin.
That's why
He
these
sold a
5 minute,
Bitcoin,
5 second are good
he
because
cashed
you can
it.
take
He
the
had
time to
two,
think
and
when
he
you
had
need
cashed
to
one
for
out and
you know,
gave him
20, 30
$7,000
seconds,
to buy a ticket
a
to go
minute,
down to Australia.
and you
That's how
you
we
know,
got
if
it.
you think
Once he got there,
it through,
if you go
then
to
you
the
can rattle
timeline
off some
in the Isaac
moves
Cappy mind map,
and pick up some,
and you go
make up
to
the time.
2018-19 timelines on the very, very top. When you get to
Knight H4.
October 22nd,
Right.
Isaac flies to
That is
Australia.
not good.
Isaac stays with Fiona.
I think we
initially
lose.
From the 23rd until an unknown time. Isaac travels to different cities
I
while in
guess it's
Australia.
over.
The first week in November, Isaac stays in
Yeah,
Sydney.
that ain't good.
Isaac claims he caught Illuminati spying on him in Sydney on November 2nd.
So
He told
we
Ella
can't go
Priest
there.
about
We
it. They were
can't go
friends at this
there.
point.
We can't go
Ella
there.
told
We
him
can't
they were
go
private
here. We
label,
can't go here. We
United
can't go
Nations
here. We
agents.
can't go here.
November 4th,
We're basically
Isaac texts
dead.
a friend and says, "I'm all right." Just kind of
So
over
somehow
everything,
we
tired of
walked
the
into
stupid
the
planet
death.
and all the idiots here. November 5th through 10th.
Darn
he's
it.
in Melbourne, maybe, allegedly. I don't know, but that's the news I got. It's
Bogus.
unconfirmed. November 10th at 1:42, he texts a friend, says, "I'm in Melbourne." The same day at 2:15, he says, "On the plus side, I'm staying in
I guess we can
Sydney,
resign that.
Has two friends, and they love
Let's
me
go
so much."
see
So,
what we could have done
Isaac
better
tells a
there.
friend how
Pretty much
depressed he is.
anything would have been better
November
than that.
15th, Isaac texts a friend. He's on the Gold Coast. He linked up with Ella High. Looks like I'm in
E5.
Australia until December
Knight
So
13th.
feel good about that.
And another
Bishop
message soon after
C5.
that.
Pawn
23rd of
D6.
November.
Is
he's
that
with
okay?
Ella High
Castles
Priest still.
kingside.
November 23rd. he messaged
A5,
a
H5,
friend,
A6,
and,
blah, blah,
not
blah.
drinking. He says he's
D5.
not drinking.
Bishop B3.
He got more
playable,
drinks, he's
but
had
on
one
D5.
not that
while
great.
over there.
Bishop B3.
So A5 would have been better.
Isaac,
Knight to E7 or
there was a situation
H6.
that happened with the Prime Minister of Australia, of the Conservative Party. Remember, I don't know if you recall a scandal or not, Sean, where his best friend,
Pawn A5.
was caught on a phone call saying, "I have."
Castles kingside.
Honey, show me that list again. Give me that list.
Bishop
I have
B6.
There's so many words in this next sentence.
Bishop
I don't wanna get
A4.
Sean in trouble
Oh,
from
God.
from the YouTube cops. He said, "All right, I have a friend. The guy on the phone was the best friend
Bishop
of the
A4.
Prime Minister
Then now
of the Conservative Party
D5 seems a
in
little weird.
power at that time in Australia. He was recorded on a line saying, "I have the Prime
On
Minister's
D5.
ear, and I'm going to tell him all about the
What about this?
SRA.
Bishop captures
Yep.
C6.
I'm going to tell him all about the
Chess is
C-
so
Pawn captures
I'm going
weird.
to tell him
Yes.
all about the
So apparently losing this pawn is
self-unaliving
good.
Knight
of the
captures
Gurkha
C5.
people, stuff to that effect. The human transportation.
Pawn
Because,
captures
we get it
I'm
right
going
back.
to tell him all
He
that,
can't
and I'll
hold that
convince
pawn.
him to open up an investigation to all of this stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Knight captures
Whatever.
E5.
All right, that's good
Prime
enough.
Minister's
Capture
best
C6.
friend who
Okay,
got
good
caught
enough.
on
Bishop
a
captures
phone
C6.
call
We can
saying
lose the
that
pawn. It's better.
His son,
It's very
son's name
counterintuitive,
is
but
Jesse.
that's okay.
Jesse
All right, let's
was
do
in the
one more
family.
game.
and Isaac saw him while he was in Australia. Is it possible, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but is it possible that Isaac was weaponized into a psyop,
Pawn E4.
told things
Pawn
about the
E5.
17 Anon situation that
Knight
weren't true?
F3.
Because there were people over here telling
Knight
him, dude,
C6.
it's BS. Drop
Bishop
it.
B5.
Okay,
Drop
Rui
it.
Lopez,
Yes, things
Berlin
are real.
defense.
Yes, the
Castles kingside.
the
Knight
SRA stuff
captures
is real,
E4.
the CP stuff is real,
Rook
the
E1.
child transportation stuff
Knight
is real. All that's
D6.
real, but the 17 Anon stuff
Knight
is
captures
not. It's a red
E5.
herring. It's misdirection. It's bad information. It's misinformation, disinformation. Right?
Bishop
it's being
E7.
convoluted. And I think Isaac was so spun up because he had opened his heart
Bishop
and his phone
D3.
and his email to any SRA survivor to come, and he was on the phone. I talked to all of his friends and the family.
Huh.
He was on the phone 24/7. People were always calling him with these horror stories about what happened. And and we had the same thing happen to us after the investigation. People
Castles
were calling us,
kingside.
emailing us, 1 or 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah, that's
trying
probably
to get us
not
wrapped up
good.
into investigations, just spitting us off
Knight
left and right.
C3.
If I said, dude, I can't do this anymore. This is insanity. So I know how Isaac felt because we were given the same treatment in the aftermath while investigating Isaac. Literally, everything that's happened to Isaac, they just turned against us. But me and Alicia, we have each other. Isaac had nobody. You know, we're a little more defensive. We're in Arizona. We have weapons here. We play with our weapons here. You know, you've been to Arizona, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're not, you know, from California. We're not pacifists, not by a damn sight. So, you know, I have a little more survival instincts than maybe Isaac did. So we're handling it better. But that being said, is
Pawn
it possible
F6.
that Isaac was spun up with the 17 Anon psyop, deployed to Australia in order to give that information and funneled into the political system over there, which ended up getting him unelected? And they changed maybe to the Labor Party or something. Took
This
over.
is just god
Could that have
awful.
happened? Was it a side psyop? Maybe. That's very real possibility. I'm not saying that did happen for certain, but could it have happened like that? Absolutely. Have we seen stuff like that happen in the United States? I mean, we got Milo on air right now telling about, you know, Benny Benny Johnson.
It's game
at the,
over.
at
Like,
those
if he
events
just
with
goes
the young
here,
men,
I got
while his
real
wife is down.
problems.
We had all kinds of people dropping information, trying to sabotage people's,
It's
careers
so over.
and get people like
Bishop
they're
captures
political
H7
operatives.
check.
They're political
Like,
operatives.
if I take,
Could Isaac have been weaponized into a political operative? Hell,
that's pretty
yes.
cool.
King
In fact,
captures
he probably was
H7.
at some level, whether
Queen
we know it or
H5
not.
check.
I can only imagine
King G8.
with the company he kept, the amount
Knight
of people that were
G6.
in touch
Okay,
with
so
him
he's got
and the
that.
state of his mind towards the end. He didn't know what was up or down or sideways or real or not. He was completely, his brain was fragmented a million directions. It is so sad to see.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I didn't know about the Australia stuff. And anyone who's got reach like that, they get co-opted, or there's an attempt to co-opt them. So next question: was Cappy's car anywhere near the day he was unalived?
Yeah, it's right there. It was in the there's pictures of his car on the mind map again under photos. You can see the pictures of the inside of his car, the back of his car, all of it. The front right tire's blown. It was, if you're at the Days Inn Hotel and you walk out of the lobby, it's in the front left parking lot, the second spot in on the farthest one out. That's where it was at. How did it get there though? Because Isaac was broken down. From what I understand, if I got the story right from his mother, he had come up the off ramp to where John Koch had actually parked the next day when Isaac went over the bridge. He was parked right in that area over there. He must have walked, checked in, went and got his car, and drove the flat tire car back to the parking lot. But that's where the Winona tow company towed it from. I made sure that was the exact spot. And there's photos of it right there.
There's a question here. Is there a Phil Collins song incident with Isaac, Alicia?
Yes, you, Alicia.
Yeah. So on Saturday when I was there,
We are back.
Isaac had walked probably 20 miles up and back his hall, and he was hungry. And he told me he hadn't eaten in a few days. So
Rook E8.
he wanted to go get some tacos. And I still don't have an explanation for this that makes any sense other than one for me. We got in the car.
So
and when we went,
I got problems.
He looked out the window.
Rookie
He
3.
looked out
Rookie
the bedroom
3.
window.
Okay.
He looked out the front window, and he made a dash out to the front door. And he ran and got in my car, and he got in the passenger side, and he scooched down low, so that he could just barely see over the dash. And I got in the car, and he gave me some directions about where to go. We kind of took a long
Knight F7.
way through the neighborhood and then down the road. And then we made a
Always have
left
that.
turn, and we were turning into an area where you would kind of have businesses that were a little more industrial, not like office buildings or
maybe we can
but
sneak out of
places
this.
where you might get your car worked on or things like this. And as we turned left,
I think he had a
onto
much
that
better move by
road,
just playing Queen H5 first.
we didn't have the radio on. It was quiet.
We'll
Isaac's
see.
nervous system was shot. Mine was shot from just trying to keep up with him and maintain some kind of energy that whole day. And I was worn out. So we got in the car and it was quiet. And I wanted to be sure that I could hear Isaac. And I just was trying to pay really close attention and stay focused on what was needed. And as we made that left-hand turn, into the car comes the loudest sound of Phil Collins' song In the Air Tonight. And it was, I can feel it coming in the air, and it struck my body so hard.
Knight D5.
Right.
And it was so loud
take,
in my
take,
head. Like when
take,
you go to a concert and
take.
you're there in the concert and there's
Let's go here.
the loud
On
music, you
D6.
We
get
need to
a
get this
little
bish out
noise distortion,
somehow,
right? And your ears kind of
somewhere. At least
you
that
get
defends
ringing
that.
in your ears, and that kind of static pressure from the loudness of the concert. There was none of that. It was absolutely crystal clear, and it was so loud. I slammed my hand onto the dashboard because I was trying to turn my radio off,
That,
and
whoops,
Isaac
not
jumped
that,
out of
but
his
maybe,
skin.
Pawn
and
B3.
Okay.
He said, "Did you
So
hear that? Did you hear that too?" And I heard it, and Isaac heard it, and we both heard it together.
this forces. Oh, but then there's
And then he was
that.
holding my hand, and he was sweating, and we were almost in tears together. It was
Let's just go
so
here.
Knight
scary.
CE5.
When we turned into
Try to trade
the
down some of these
parking lot
pieces.
of the
Ooh.
Mexican restaurant,
kinda
and
ugly.
it started to hail. And you know what? It was hailing on the Mexican restaurant. I don't know how to explain this. I can't explain it, but the only thing that it was hailing a little in the street,
But
and it was
we can't.
hailing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And we sat in
little bit
Isaac
ugly
ordered,
here.
and he was so cute.
Pawn captures
I
E7
know he
check.
didn't have anything to his name,
Rook
and
captures
he insisted
E7.
that it was that he was to buy
Knight
the
captures
first round
E7
of tacos
check.
next time I could buy. So he bought the tacos.
Queen
we were gonna
captures
sit there and
E7.
eat, but he was too
And
scared
that
and we
wins
were
the
shaking
Pawn
so
green.
bad.
F4.
We got back in the car,
Yeah.
and then we went back home and ate our lunch. But
That is not great.
I don't know how else to explain this. I don't know what else it could be. I've had all kinds of things told to
Bad
me about
news.
where that noise could have come from. But even if something comes that loud into your
Dude,
car, through your speakers,
kind of a bad move,
there's
huh?
distortion, and there was zero distortion, and it was in my bones, in my head, it was me, it was in my body.
It's ugly.
That's-
This is
That's
just
all I can
ugly.
explain, is that it was in my body, and it shook us both so bad. So I did
Man.
get to experience that with Isaac. I know that it was real. I know that what he told me then about hearing the onslaught of voices and music and sound that he
Bummer.
was. I know that the knot, after researching this later, I know that the knot on the back of his head was from
Oh,
banging
man, I
his
should have
head
just
because
taken
it
that
was in
bishop
the
move.
perfect place where victims of this bang their head, because behind your ears you have those little bones, right? That's where it's aimed. And then it bounces off the center of the back of your head and forward into your brain.
This sucks.
They can give you visions, they can give you smells, they can entirely control control the experience that you're having in your brain. And he had this knot about this big on the back of his head, and there was a split in
This
it,
is just
and it
not
was
good. There's really no counterplay
bleeding
either
from him
at this
banging
point.
it on the floor and on the door frame in his bedroom.
I'll just resign.
And,
Let's go look at that one.
Whoever was doing that to them
That ain't gonna.
is the
It ain't gonna get
evil,
any better.
wretched,
Not gonna get any better there.
cruel. I don't know. And that our government uses this on American
Where's our guy?
citizens, that it uses it abroad, that it uses it on soldiers of other countries.
Venezuela.
Yeah, in Venezuela. It happens
Terrible,
in DC,
terrible,
It
terrible.
happens to targeted individuals.
All right, we'll play better next time,
It's
hopefully.
real. It's real, and
Knight
it's
F3.
terrifying, and you are
Bishop
absolutely
B5.
certain
Knight
of what is
F6.
happening in you. And
Knight
it's coming,
captures
and
E4.
there's no sound from the
Knight
outside of you.
D6.
So then you look.
Knight captures
Yeah,
E5.
you look like a crazy person
Bishop
to someone
D3.
looking
That's
at you.
just
If-
awful.
And they
Castles
can beam
kingside.
you alone
Knight
in a
C3.
crowd.
Pawn F6.
It is a thing. There's all kinds of declassified information about it.
captures
If you
H7
don't know
check.
about it or haven't heard
King
about
captures
it or
H7.
aren't sure if it's real or
Queen
not,
H5
it's all
check.
declassified. You can
King
go ahead
G8.
and
Knight
read about
G6.
it. It's real. And yeah, that was
Rook
the
E8.
Phil Collins experience.
Yeah, I'm going to have
Rook
to get an
E3.
expert on voice-to-skull technology to
F7.
come on and expand on that. It does sound absolutely terrifying. So
Yeah,
we've got
see,
about
I'm good
15
here.
minutes
Knight
left,
D5.
for final questions, viewers. And I know, Corey, you wanted to touch
Bishop
on
F8. That's what I
Charles
should have done.
Kirk and Candace
Bishop
Owens.
F8.
Because here,
You know, I lined
it
up. I got
pretty
4
much-
hours worth of information here.
Oh,
If you want another
What?
show, we can do a whole nother show on it. I mean, I
so
can
if
touch on some.
he
small
could
stuff
try
here.
this,
Captures E8.
but this does not work
Queen
because of
captures
that.
Yes. We
Okay.
can't
Knight
show,
captures
we can't,
C7.
You know about not showing certain things
Queen
on
E1
YouTube. We
checkmate.
can't show
It'll-
injuries and things like that.
Queen captures
Yes,
E8.
So the
it'll
best
just
he's
be,
got is
my
D4?
website, it'll be just
Or knight takes
no
F8.
bad words. No, it's all. I won't say it's workplace appropriate, but it's definitely not.
Bummer. I almost
not
got out of
YouTube
trouble there.
appropriate, so, we're okay.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay.
Can you got to click on the present at the
And then I
bottom?
probably definitely would have grabbed that.
Rook
Is that
captures
the
I
E3.
guess.
box with the
Bishop
Yeah.
captures
Wasn't it?
E3.
Winning
Yeah.
now.
okay. Share screen.
And then everything's kind of okay if you just bishop to
Rook
F8.
captures E3.
And viewers,
Bishop
don't
But yeah, you
forget,
can't-
can
Knight D5.
Follow Phoenix Enigma
Rook
on
E3.
X and go to the website.
Knight
Look at the
D5.
mind map. Links. I'm
But the
just
move
going
I
to
made-
live chat again now.
Pawn
If you missed
D6.
our part 1 that we did, then you can.
It's still
watch that. The
playable.
link is down there as well.
Pawn B3.
All right, so I'm
Pawn
gonna put this on the
B3,
screen
that's
for you.
not a big deal. Still should play bishop F8. This
Knight
move is
C5.
Hold on
losing.
1 second.
So that's a
There we go.
loser right there.
All
Pawn
right,
B3.
so
Bishop
as
F8
most of my
is
own
the
listeners
way.
know,
F8.
and those who have known me from your last show, I am an occultist. I study the occult, and I study the occult as to where it joins in with politics,
Darn it.
parapolitics.
All right, do we
global
have any
politics,
time?
And I de-occult things.
No, that's about
before
it
any
for
of the
this
Christians
one.
out there
So-
go on and say I'm a Satanist. I
So
study
we're still
occultism
hovering
the
around
way
1440 something,
a
but
criminologist studies crime. A
at
criminologist
least I'm
is robbing
holding
banks,
tough. I mean,
he
it's
studies
still
crime.
really
I
difficult for
study
me
the
to
occult,
see the
okay?
board.
That being
So
said,
the fact that
Isaac
I'm not
Cappy,
just missing
when I put
everything
this
is
together,
great.
Isaac
I can
Cappy
see
outed
enough
Seth
to.
Green and others
Can't always
on
tell the
July
difference between a rook and a
22nd
bishop, though. So
or
it's a
7:22,
little bit,
okay,
you know, a little
at
bit in my head
1:33 in the afternoon.
where I have to see things.
That's a fact.
Still, I have to pick up
Isaac
on
Cappy
information and then
died
think about it in my
on May
head,
13th,
which makes it
or
fun.
the
You know,
133rd day of the year.
makes it
at
more of a
7:22 in the
challenge,
morning.
but. I guess
Isaac
that's good enough
Cappy's
for now.
time
At least I
and
didn't
date of
bust
death
every
is
game.
exact
Did a little better, and we'll learn more
of the
next
time
time.
and date
But
that
actually,
came out at the Comic-Con event.
let
Knight
me
D5.
take it back to here
Knight
where
G6.
and made those accusations
Bishop
against
captures
Tom
H7
Hanks,
check.
Steven Spielberg, and
Castles
Seth Green.
kingside.
so
Charlie
after
Kirk.
Bishop D3.
First outed
when he
Castles
plays
kingside.
Bishop
on
D3 is just
October 12th,
terrible.
Knight
Bishop
C3.
F1's way better.
Castles
on the Patrick
kingside.
Bet David show.
So here,
Bishop D3.
Knight takes E5 is
Bishop
just
D7.
way
2 minute
good.
and
You just
53
take
second mark
it,
of the interview,
Knight captures E5.
and
then
at the
Rook
28
captures
minute mark of
E5.
the interview,
Castle,
or at 9:28 in the morning, because
which is
that's
Castles
when it
fine.
came on, 'cause it
kingside.
came on at 9 a.m.
You know,
okay?
Queen to H5 is not
Charlie
a real
died
threat.
At 12:23
I think you can
Queen
just
H5.
play G6.
Keep in mind, right here,
Yeah,
he did the
and then
interview on
on G6.
12:23.
you end up getting something
Queen
like
Charlie died at
this.
12:23
Bishop
on
F6.
9:10.
Wow.
9:10 is also the 253rd day of the year. So the two times Charlie talked about Israel in that event at 2:53 and the 28-minute mark,
Pawn
or the
C6.
9
It's
hours,
good 'cause
20
you're
mark of
setting
the
up-
day, both line up with the date.
See, Knight
September
C3,
10th
Knight
being the
E8.
253rd
Okay,
day of
Knight
the year
C3,
at
Knight
12:23.
E8.
Charlie Kirk's
Knight
death
E8.
This is groovy.
is the identical
everything's cool here.
reversal of the time and date that he came out and spoke against Israel.
Pawn
Just
B3.
that's
Isaac
terrible.
Cappy's death is the exact
E8.
time and date
All
reversal.
right,
Bishop
of the
so I
time
just
he
F6.
need to be
came out
more
and spoke against
careful. All
Hollywood.
right,
Castles
well that's good,
kingside.
and I'll see you
Bishop
next time
Not an
on
accident. This is
Blind
not a
Bishop
coincidence.
Chess.
E7.
And there's so much more.